what am I doing here? This is the Cowboys show. I'm the Mavs guy. We'll figure it out. Coming up next on the DLLS Cowboys show. I guess I'm hanging out on a new show today, or just a show that I love. It's the DLLS Cowboys show. I'm Kevin Gray. I'm not Jeff Kavanaugh. I'm better looking. Sorry, Jeff. No, wait. Oh, I got the Kavanaugh drop. Okay, awesome. Next to me is Mr. Fourth and Long himself, Jesse Holley.
Oh, Jesse Holley went 77 yards. It must be a reality show.
It must feel like an eternity as you're listening to Sham like go through that, but I'm sure it's like great for you because you get to relive that moment every single time he says that.
It's like sex. Every single time.
Feel like the first time.
Feels like the first time. Never get tired of it.
Yeah.
The legend immediately to his right, John Rhadigan, of course, of the DLLS Rangers podcast. John, what's going on?
I'm doing well. You don't have a freaking drop for me, John?
I'm Pop. I'm an old guy.
Oh, whoa. I'm the old guy.
I
there
fit
you go.
the bill.
Yep,
I fit the bill. I appreciate
You're the right
that.
side.
Although,
You're the right side.
and let me say this. The dude who's just to my right, about 2 months older.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Why do you got to bring that up?
Because I want people to know as old as I look and as young as you look, we're the same damn age.
It's good living, man. Take care of yourself.
Yeah, I
Your
guess
body's a
that's it.
temple. Right,
Yeah.
Jesse?
Absolutely. I try to tell these guys all the time. They don't listen to me.
No, that's Superstar Craig Ludwig, of course, of the DLLS Star Show. He's getting started early on, as you can see with his red solo cup already on the Cowboys show. Why are we here? It is also Spirit Week here at DLLS Sports and across the All-City Network, and it's Musical Chairs Day. So that is why you see myself of the Mav Show, Jesse just doing what he normally does every single Wednesday on the Cowboys show. John Rhadigan, of course, hosts the DLLS Ranger show, and Craig Ludwig gives Owen Newkirk the hardest time ever. Hey, get out of here, chill. It's not your show today.
Pop.
It's not your show today. Hey, it's Mike's for you today.
FOMO.
Exactly. Already.
Go pop.
Look at
Hey. What show are you doing the Rangers show? Okay, doing basketball. All right. I wish you were doing Rangers.
Yeah, your voice gonna come with it today?
Yeah.
Like your voice gone too?
Oh, my God.
Okay. All right. You talk about that on your show later.
Next time he comes in here, we're going to get a footstool. Some of that stuff.
Jeff Kavanaugh already in the chat talking about don't screw this up, screw it up. Jeff says also Luds and Jesse together is not safe.
We're safe.
Jesse,
I
we
think they're
need
as
to
safe
go
as
out
can
in
be.
public. We need to
Come on.
We need to go out and put a show on.
Let's go. Can I
Rads,
say?
you can come along.
Can I?
As soon as they get the damn Hooters back open.
Can I welcome you guys into the thoughts that I had this morning that I was getting ready to come over?
Oh,
to the
okay.
show.
Jesse's thoughts already.
So
I like
as
this.
I was
Yes.
getting ready, because you're an alpha, I'm an alpha. We're alphas.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
We're alpha men. We're
When
alpha
I heard
males.
the Al, I thought he was going to say alcoholic.
No.
Guilty.
Red Solo Cup already.
No,
We already had
he had that little pregnant pause.
Yeah.
How am I going to tell
Alpha.
him exactly he's an alcoholic?
But we're all alphas, right? And so here it is. We're doing musical chairs.
Uh-huh.
And I'm thinking to myself, all right, cool. We got guests coming in.
Yeah.
And everyone's their own person on their show. But I'm like, this is the Cowboy show.
This
so
your show.
Technically, it's still my show.
That's
It's
right.
your
Absolutely.
show.
Right?
That's right.
Yeah.
But then I start thinking about the seating arrangement. Now I'm like, if this is like jail, which I've never been to jail, but I've watched a lot of shows about jail, right?
We'll talk.
We'll talk about that. Yeah.
Yeah.
I was like, what if Lugs wants to come in and he sits in seat 2? Right? So now I'm driving in.
I didn't know there were certain seats. To be
Uh-huh.
totally honest
Yeah.
with you.
So
Seat 1 and 2.
I'm driving in now and I'm just like, this is the honest to God truth. I'm driving in and I'm saying, Jess, do you be mature enough to sit wherever there's an open seat at and just go along with the show? Or do you let the alpha ego when you go, seat 2's mine?
Yeah.
That's me.
You went with that, didn't you?
No, it just so happened that when I walked in the room, you two were already seated in 3 and 4, and number 2 was already open.
Already
so I was
open.
like,
And that's the one you wanted.
this is my
Is
seat.
this your normal
this is where
seat?
this is where
normal
I
seat.
see it.
That's
That's
right.
unless
Normal
Jeff
seat.
is out and I'm hosting. This is my
But
normal
if
seat.
but if Luds walks in and says, "You're my bitch,"
Hey,
what happened?
yo,
What happened?
Whoa.
there would have been furniture moving in this
I
room.
think there might have been.
There might have been furniture moving.
Is that allowed? I
Now,
don't know if
John
that's
would
allowed.
normally, he would be screaming at me right now, saying, "Luds, that's your one."
That's
Like, you can't do that. You can't do
Really?
that.
Well, this is Spirit Week. It's
Yeah,
all
it's
fun and
Johnson and Rachel's letting
games.
it hang out already.
Now here's what I thought about, because I got in bad traffic and coming up here, and I was like 20 minutes later than normal, and I thought, here I am with 2 former professional athletes,
Mhm.
and I'm going to be that guy walking in late, like I'm the big deal, right? You were here. He was here.
And I was
were,
late.
You were late
I
too.
was in the same traffic that you were in.
Oh, you were in the same damn one. Yeah.
Yeah.
So anyway, yeah. So I thought this is going to look so bad on me. I'm going to walk in like, well, I guess we know who the star is.
That's
I don't
right.
have to be here on time. Kevin, you were here on time with John. So
My
good
thought
for you.
process was, I was like, oh, they're going to, I said,
Hey,
it is.
truth
We
be
figured if we was going to invade your show, you could be in the most comfortable position
I appreciate that.
that you normally are in.
When I got here late, I was like, man, they're going to
Just so
think the
you
black
know.
guy's always late. I was like,
truth be
No, it was-
told, I'd rather be sitting in a chair 4 floors down right now doing the
Oh, there's
show.
no question. Dick,
You and I both.
Yeah.
Yeah. But if they were
That's
open,
after
yeah.
the show. You got
Yeah.
54
we keep bringing that
minutes.
up
You
because
got 54
we're hoping
minutes.
they hear that someday.
Yeah.
We could
Yeah.
do something.
Throw a little
that's
money in the
sponsor
pocket.
us. You know, along those lines. You guys talk amongst yourselves. I got to send a text. To
Oh,
somebody.
wow. He's sending
Sorry,
texts during
sorry.
the show.
Yeah,
This
hang on.
that
You
gives
fit
you-
right in, no, I'm telling you, this fits right into the
Oh,
Clarence
is that what
role.
Pop
This
is
is
there
what
just
he
text-
does.
just text all
this
the time?
is what he does during the show. You're filling in great. Swear to God, you're fitting in great. This is perfect.
If this is any indication of what the next 54 minutes are going to be like on the show today, you're going to have a hell of a lot of fun because we are here as part of Spirit Week with the DLLS Sports and ALLCITY Network, of course. So why are we here? What are our connections to the Dallas Cowboys? I figure since I'm the youngest of the esteemed panel here, I would get mine out the way first because I got pictures to show.
Okay.
So this right here, rest his soul, this is my late uncle Willie Towns. He played alongside, that's Bob Lilly, as you see,
Yeah,
Mr.
of course,
Cowboy.
Mr. Cowboy.
Sitting next to him, of course. He played 3 seasons with the Cowboys. He was a starter in the 1967 Ice Bowl. Got a sack on Barstar, helped change the game, that kind of thing. But played 4 seasons in the league. He played 3 with the Cowboys. And his final season in 1970 was with the New Orleans Saints. So funny enough, my wife is from Louisiana. So she gently reminds me every time, hey, you're not just a Cowboys fan, you're low-key a Saints fan because your uncle also played
Sure.
for the
Yeah.
for the
Yeah.
Saints as well. So
I buy it.
I'm a third generation Cowboys fan. So literally was born and raised into this whole toxic relationship with the Cowboys.
But not here.
No. I was born and raised in Kansas City.
Yeah.
So that is my grandmother's brother. So on my dad's side. So my grandmother, obviously her brother, my dad passed it down to me, and that's how I became Cowboys fan. So it's literally I can't get it out of my blood. Like I
Toxic.
literally can't get it out of my blood.
There we go.
Oh,
There
wow.
we go.
She's
wow.
on
That's the
time.
text I sent.
She's
Thank
She's
you.
on
Wait till
time.
11:30. Look at that.
She's
You
on
don't have to wait.
time.
You don't drink
No,
it.
let's keep passing that
You
down.
know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
you keep
I'm gonna pass mine to Lutz
Yeah,
later on.
yeah,
so
we
there
can
you go.
pass these over.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Have at it.
You know, something about
Things don't
just sit-
change.
something about just sitting with Luds makes me thirsty for a beer.
Just ready to thirst it
Thank
off.
you, Cat.
Thanks, Cat. Yeah.
Love you, Cat.
So that's my introduction to the Cowboys. It's like I was literally born into this, and no matter how much they disappoint me, I can't get away from it. I'll never be able to get away from it. So
Is that good or bad?
it's awful.
I was about
It's-
to say,
it's
especially in the last 30 years,
Yeah.
right?
So it's kind of really weird to like talk about Cowboys disappointment when literally a player who used to play on the team, you know,
I was a part of disappointment.
like kind of like fed some of those disappointment. Like
Yeah.
you couldn't get a Super Bowl.
I'm sorry.
Exactly.
I'm
Like, I feel
sorry.
like you need to apologize to me.
I'm sorry.
You know, for
You
not
can put that
delivering.
on you, I guess.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You know, and the other
Jerry loves guys like you.
Yeah,
Yes,
yeah.
exactly.
loves you.
Yeah, exactly. He's like,
How
I just
old
keep coming
are you,
back.
Kevin?
I'm 38. I'll be 39 in December.
So
Yeah.
do you remember those 90s?
I do.
Teams?
I
Okay,
do.
I did not
Those
yet.
those were my formative years. So I was born in '86. So obviously the Cowboys won the last title in '96. So the 3
Yeah,
titles
10
that they
years
won in
old,
4
yeah.
years,
Yeah.
I remember those very vividly. Being a Cowboys fan, so I remember sitting in my basement watching, you know, the Cowboys beat the Steelers, you know, in Arizona. Larry Brown, of course, Super Bowl MVP that year. Like those were the heydays for me. The triplets are everything to me. Emmett, Troy, and of course Michael Irvin, who you know very intimately. He's
Yes.
part of the reason why you're a Cowboy in a lot of ways.
Yeah, man. And I guess my claim to fame is I am the only player in NFL history There's no other player who's gotten to a team and made a team the way that I did.
Yeah.
I'm the only player in NFL history to make a roster from a reality TV show. And I spent 3 years with the Cowboys, 5 years total in the league, Cincinnati, the Cowboys, and I ended my career with the Patriots. And I will say that when I came to Dallas, which was odd because I had a chance to be in Texas long before I became a Cowboy. From high school, I was being recruited by a lot of the Texas Tech schools like that.
For basketball.
And football.
Oh, in football.
And football,
Okay.
yeah. In fact, I remember telling Mac Brown, who came to my school, came to Roselle, New Jersey, when he was a Texas head coach. And I'm an inner city kid from Jersey, right? And Mac Brown comes and he has these tight Wranglers on. And he has these cowboy boots on. And, you know, I'm from Jersey. This is the era where I'm 165 pounds and I'm wearing a size 38 jeans and a 3X t-shirt. So imagine this white man with these tight Wranglers and these cowboy boots come to your school and say, hey, we want you to come play for us. I said, Coach, there's no way in hell.
Yeah, sorry about that, Coach.
There's no way. I'm like, I said, all I've heard about Texas, they don't like people that look like me in Texas. No, thank you.
Yeah.
No, thank you. And I said, you don't even have, I said, respectfully, it was respectful. You don't even have to come back to New Jersey because I am not.
I'm not going nowhere.
I'm not going there.
And I told all the other Texas Techs, I told the Oklahomas, thank you.
Yeah.
But no thanks. And now I'm here. I was like, I can't leave.
Now you can't leave.
But I want to. Was it one of them dating shows, a reality show?
No,
or
it was
one
the
of the Love Connection show.
well,
What was that?
I mean,
I got the girl and a chance.
Yeah, I got the look. I got the look for that. I got
What
the look
kind of
for
reality
that.
show?
It was called Fourth and Long with Michael Irvin. It was a reality show.
That could be a dating show.
Yeah, it could, you know what? If you know Michael Irvin, it definitely could be.
Could have a lot more stuff involved too.
Was it being aired on Cinemax?
Spike TV, the Man Channel. It was the Man Channel at the time. Spike TV. I can't tell that story on there. I'll tell that story off.
Yeah, you got to
You could tell the story in the hockey show.
Yeah, that's
We
right.
were doing a hockey show.
Okay. But
Come on,
John
our
will
show
get-
and
well,
tell.
John's on Cowboys now.
He left us. He went to hear a lot of these.
Yeah, John came big time,
Oh,
baby.
man.
John came with the big boys.
So speaking of Mac Brown, I got a quick story about him. I was doing college football at Fox when I first went over there. I was doing sidelines. Would interview the coach coming off the field at the end of the game. Luds is going to talk about this later, but Mac would come over after some 105-degree game at Texas down there at Darrell K. Royal, and he needed some Mando. I'm going to tell you something right now. I'm going to tell you, man, you stand next to him, you got to peek close the camera and all that. I'm over there. Hey, Mac, what'd you think about the game? Oh, God. He'd start talking, and I'm like, well, good. Go to the shower.
You can come back and talk to me a little bit later. Luz, what's your connection to the Cowboys before we go to break real quick?
Well, I'd say that when we came here in '93, I guess it was, we were at Valley Ranch.
Yeah.
And so at Valley Ranch, there was a restaurant over there that we quickly when hockey players come to a new town, the first you don't worry about where the rink is, you don't worry about the training facility is, you want to know where the bars are.
Yeah.
And so there was a place right down the street. It was called Cowboys, and we just so we kind of gravitated over there. And next thing you know, all the Cowboys were there. And at the time, we didn't know anybody, and so they kind of came over, and we kind of came over and introduced ourselves. And DJ was Daryl Johnson was obviously was a hockey fan and ultimately bought tickets and stuff like that. Jesse, I got to tell you one story. So we're sitting in there, and this is probably a month or so after we kind of got familiar with the guys, and so we were sitting at a table one day, and as they were done, and it must have been 2:00 in the afternoon, and I'm sitting there, and Hatcher was there, and Russ Courtnall, Shane Churla was there. I'm not sure, but we were sitting with DJ. DJ was there, and I think Troy was there. Mark Tunay was there, and sitting at the table with us. And big dude comes walking in, and just huge. And he was sitting, and now I look like this Tinkerbell, right? So I'm sitting at this table, and I keep looking around because I'm looking at him. There's a whole bunch of guys sitting over here, and he's had to be 6'7", ripped, and I know I sound like it right now too, but so after a while, I just said to him, I said to the guys sitting there, and I said, "Who's that?" And they kind of turn around, they're looking over there, and they look at each other, and Tui looks at DJ, and all of a sudden they look at me and they go, "Don't know." I'm like, "Don't know." Like, Cowboys, though, right?
Got to be one of your teammates. Yeah.
He go and I didn't know this at the time, and I played football and stuff like, but high school and stuff. But they're like, they're with the defense. Don't know who that is. I honestly didn't know that was a thing. He's like, no, they have their practices, they do their things, these things. I'm like, really? Is that? I mean, were they just sticking around?
Maybe
with me
they're
or what?
workouts, but practices we all practice together. So maybe they did workouts. Maybe that's during workout.
Might have been
time.
during the off season.
Yeah.
No, it couldn't have been during the off season because we were in season. Like it was.
You guys were in season.
No, it was
No.
like,
And one
it
of
was
his
like
team,
October.
just they had no idea who he was.
No, they looked and they were talking to each other. Now I don't know if they were screwing around with
Yeah,
us,
they
but
must have been lying
we just
to you.
kind of
Yeah.
looked
Yeah,
at
they were
each
screwing
other.
around.
Like,
Yeah.
well, no, he's on the defensive squad. I'm like, okay.
Now he could have been on a practice squad and they just didn't know him because he wasn't nobody.
Yeah,
could be.
That
Yeah,
could have been that
could
guy.
be
It could have been like
practice,
the practice squad. I'm like,
You should have took him a beer and be like, "Hey, who are you?" You just introduce yourself.
Well, those things happen. Well, we used to go to Troy's house for blackjack nights on Mondays.
Oh,
Oh yeah, we're gonna get into that.
we're gonna
story.
get into
that.
Yeah,
Okay.
we're running out of time,
Yeah,
but
good.
that's a story.
Yeah, no,
That's
we got to
a
hear
story.
that. Let's take our first break here on the DLLS Cowboys show. When we come back, it's story time with our guy John Rhadigan. He's brought a amazing photo. He's got props too. He's got fantastic stories. We're gonna get into all that coming next year on the DLLS Cowboys show.
let me tell you about my friends at Monarch Money. Now, I get it. Money sometimes can be a difficult situation, especially when you don't know how you're spending. And if you're one of those people who, and when Jeff's here, Jeff will always tell you, he's the kind of guy who he is a irrational spender. Credit cards, bank account, the money's all over the place. He has
Jeez,
Amazon
man.
boxes yay high at his
Yes.
crib that he hasn't opened up yet. So the money is coming out like crazy. But what happens when you look up and you go, I don't know what or how I spent my money. My friends at Monarch, they can get you straight. What they can do is they're like your money coach. They're your money organizer. They get things put in place so you understand where your money is going at all times and that you never lose track of it so that you're never going in debt and the money stays plentiful. So what you need to do right now is use the promo code DLLS and head over to monarchmoney.com and get yourself a coach today. If you do it now, you get 50% off your first year at Monarch Money. Head over there, use the promo code DLLS and get it right.
Oh, it's such a good idea. And then with that money you've saved up, guess where you're going? Wendy's.
Ooh.
Oh, okay,
yeah.
okay.
First of all,
Spicy nugs.
that's the best fast food burger out there. If you just got to grab a burger. You think so too?
Yes. People don't agree with me. Yes.
I thought he was going to punch me.
No, I know, right? I was
like, what is happening?
Yes.
He balls up that
No,
fist. I'm
right.
like, okay, no. Hit it out. Okay, hit it out. Whatever.
No.
But anyway, best fast food burger. And now they have these Frosty Fusions. And we've all had a chance to sample these Frosty Fusions. They take a regular Frosty, vanilla or chocolate, and then they put stuff in it. Good stuff like caramel, Oreo, the strawberry Pop-Tart one.
That's my one.
Yeah, that's a
Oreo
good
brownie
one.
for me.
Yeah,
Oreo
that
brownie
strawberry
for me.
Pop-Tart one is good. So anyway, these Frosty Fusions are available at Wendy's, and you need to get your butt over to Wendy's and try them. They still got the regular Frosties too, but get over to Wendy's. They are at participating Wendy's all over the area. Hours may vary by location.
Kevin Gray, Jesse Holley, John Rhadigan, superstar Craig Ludwig here on the DLLS Cowboys show. It's story time with John Rhadigan because I've been waiting for this.
Hey, KG.
What happened?
You know these Wendy's things? These Frosty things?
Yeah.
Well, day one when they were here, there was like a dozen of them upstairs.
That's real?
John, do you still have your camera on yourself over there?
Wait,
Can you put yourself up there?
he's not mic'd up today.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well, anyway, John one day, as we're doing that show and we're talking about the thing, John's over there and we're watching him just wolf one down.
Yeah.
Next thing we know, there's a timeout and there's a change of producers. Old John got into his Frosty a little too quick and had to head to the John. John had to head to the John.
yo.
Little lactose.
There was a big
Little
timeout there.
Little
so we need
lactose
to-
right there.
Lactose
Little
intolerant,
right
baby.
there.
John had to call in the lefty in the relief for him
Wow.
for a few minutes.
I've
You
seen
need to
that
sit
too.
you out there, John, like that? I guess.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well,
Now that's not a bad thing on the Wendy's Frosties. They
Yeah.
were great, but I think he's a little
He just
lactate.
gotta slow down
what do you
next
call
time
that?
on it.
Lactose intolerant.
Yeah.
So, John, you're the doo-doo queen.
it's,
You're the boo-boo
he don't
queen.
have a mic. He can't retort at all. He don't have a mic today. Later on in the show, who's the number one team in DFW? We invaded Jesse's show with the Cowboys. Each of us are going to make an argument for why our team is the number one team in DFW, Ludwig. So you got some time to think about that. But let's have some story time with John Rhadigan because I'm ready for this amazing story. With you got props, you got everything. So I'm just gonna let you.
We
take
got it
away.
all set, and there's not enough time. I mean, I was covering the 90s Cowboys every day. Every day. It didn't matter. And Jerry made sure we covered him every day. I'll never forget the 1994 All-Star, 95 All-Star game was here. Baseball, All-Star game, middle of July. And we're all out there covering, the All-Star festivities on the Monday. doesn't Jerry call a press conference? We all had to hustle our asses out, and I was working for Channel 5 at the time. We had to hustle out from the ballpark to there, and the press conference, and I love Charles Haley. I know you and I, Charles Haley was announcing some kind of foundation or whatever that he was starting. Good for him. But Jerry knew, man, he can drag us out there at a moment's notice. He took all the local media away from the All-Star game to run out there and cover a Charles Haley press conference. Now, half the media hated him at that point because Charles was rude, pretty much rude to the media. Now, if you followed his rules, which was he only talked after the games, he was great. He and I got along great. I never had a problem with him. But if you didn't follow his rules, it might get ugly. But anyway, I was here for all of it, every step of the way. So I always felt like it was, I just landed in such a great place coming from Flint, Michigan, to be in Dallas and cover 3 Super Bowl winning teams. And I got along, to Lud's point, about all those guys, I got along great with all those guys. I got along great with the coaches. I got along great with everybody, except apparently the other Cowboys media. Right? Now, Pop and I, you saw us. We'll bro hug, right? But there must have been somebody over at his newspaper that really didn't like me. So on December 10th, 1998 or 99, whatever this is, 99, was the load left
I'm
game.
older than you?
Huh?
You sure I'm older than you?
Yeah.
Okay.
Don't sound like it. Do you remember load left as a fan?
I don't remember.
Okay, load left is a play that Barry Switzer called twice in Philadelphia on an absolutely freezing day. 4th and 1, Cowboys are kind of deep in their own territory, and he calls a 3rd and 1, load left. Philly stops it. Okay, we're going for it. Everybody's like, whoa, they're going. This is before the days everybody went for it.
Yeah.
They're going for it on 4th down, and they're deep in their own territory. He called the same damn play again, load left, and Philly stopped it again. Ran right down, and they scored, and away we go, right? So, and actually, I think they went on to win the Super Bowl that year, so that was earlier. Yeah, that's 96. I can barely read it. So
you
the
can
next
barely
day,
remember, too.
The next day in the newspaper, this is
look
the
at
Star
this.
Telegram, and the next day, there's a big old picture on the front page of the newspaper that says Dumb and Dumber. And there's 2 people. There are 2 people in that shot. Me and Barry Switzer. How the hell did I get to be dumber? What did I do? All I did was cover that game.
Well,
I'm dumber?
it
Like,
seems-
I'm dumber?
It seems to be appropriate because you're holding a picture up here that John's already got a picture on the screen.
Yeah,
You
but
didn't
it
even need
that was a bad picture. I know.
Yeah, he wanted to make sure everybody saw it live and in
I
living
think I know
color.
where the dumber part came from.
Maybe. Look, I mean, that dumber is right over my head, isn't it? Right? And so I was like, who at the Star Telegram hates me? And, of course, the ticket had just come on the air. Oh, they had a field day with it every day. We always knew he was a dumb son of a bitch, So, anyway, that
I
was,
don't get it. I get shit for this all the time.
Hey, yo, you can't say that. You can't say that.
Oh, you can't? Oh.
Oh, he can't or
I
I
thought
can't?
that was just on the hockey show you can't say that stuff.
I'm allowed to say it or no? I don't know if I am.
John's gonna have so much work to do on this show afterwards. It's
Yeah,
hilarious
he's going to
at
have
this
to
point.
edit a bunch of stuff out.
So who posted this? Like, what editor posted this?
I don't know.
don't know?
And I looked to see. I
about to say,
hadn't
did you
looked.
confront the person who was like,
I was
hey?
hoping that Clarence had written one of those stories. I don't know if Clarence was there by 96, but all those guys, Gil Lebreton and Jesse Karp was over there. Jesse was their beat writer for a while. And anyway, so, but being on the Cowboys beat, man, it just gave me so many awesome opportunities. Like, my favorite Super Bowl that I ever covered. I covered all 3. They won in the 90s. But in Super Bowl 27, they were in Pasadena. And so we got to be in L.A. for a couple of weeks, just hanging out for the week between, and then the Cowboys Super Bowl. And I mean, I'm in the Rose Bowl. I walk in there Super Bowl Sunday, right? And first time I'd been to the Rose Bowl. Walk out the tunnel. I look out there. I see the empty seats, but it's one level, the Rose Bowl, right? It's like Michigan Stadium. It's one level,
goes all the way,
all bleachers. And I walk out and I look, and you see the palm trees over it and the blue sky, and I just go, damn. And the guy standing next to me, little guy, he says, they should play the Super Bowl here every year. I'm like, yeah, they really should. And I look over, freaking Garth Brooks. He was singing the anthem. He was singing the anthem. There.
Wow.
So, and then after that game, we're all doing post-game sound. The Cowboys won. We didn't expect them to win. Buffalo was good. They'd been there multiple times previously. The Cowboys were young. Cowboys win big, 52-17. We're all doing interviews and stuff. We just nicely get done with our interviews. And again, you're competitive with the other TV stations. We get out there, Channel 8, Dale Hansen's on the field, which is where we were, and we had done a bunch of interviews, but nobody had gotten Troy, who's the MVP. Here's Hansen standing there with Troy. And, you hear Hansen.
Troy who?
Troy.
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
Troy Hambrick. You think Troy?
Hambrick.
So he said, so we hear Hansen.
That's hilarious.
We hear Hambrick. Hansen telling the producer, "Yeah, I got Troy here. I've got Troy here. Yeah, come on to me. I've got Troy." What? Well, I've got Troy Aikman. He's the MVP of the damn Super Bowl. All right, Troy, I guess you got to go. Now, Troy's gone, right? They said in his ear, couldn't come to him, whatever. So Troy's gone, and he says, yeah, whatever that producer's name, is he there? Is he there? Yeah. But is he looking at me? Can he hear me right now? Yeah. Hansen, double birds. F you. He said the word. F you. F you. Wow.
That's a good Dale Hansen impression.
That's what I was thinking too. Like the Dale Hansen impression.
Yeah. So anyway, that was, but the cool thing, the next night, and I was actually ready to go home. The next day we were supposed to leave Monday, but they go, MVP of the Super Bowl is on the Tonight Show. So you're going to the Tonight Show with Troy to cover him with Jay Leno and all that stuff. So
right, exactly.
There we.
Right,
so I'm like,
Troy Hambrick?
well, yeah, twist my arm. Troy Hambrick.
That's
Yeah,
right.
it was amazing. He was a guest with Sean Cloven. I don't know how. Yeah. So anyway, that was one. I mean, there were just so many stories. That little picture there, it happened so often. I remember one time when Jerry was suing the league, or the league was suing Jerry, and there was owners meetings in Atlanta, and so
I could have a 6-pack as long as he talks.
Yeah. Well, we can get Cat back.
We're
down
gonna get
here.
you. Trust me, your time is coming.
Yeah.
Your time is
so,
coming.
So anyway,
you gotta get yourself ready here next segment.
we get flown to Atlanta, because Jerry's fighting with the league, and then a picture very similar to that with me and Jerry was on the front page of USA Today, and so it hits you like, damn, when you cover this team, it's cool, it's special. Now, then when that team stopped playing, we got to cover the Stars, who were winning winning Stanley Cups at the time, and every time when the Cowboy season ended, he would lead the charge. He would lead the chorus of vitriol in the room, as they call it in hockey. We'd walk in there and go, hear this one. Oh, the Cowboys must be done. Well,
you was jealous. You was bitter.
Cowboys must be done playing.
We
don't see them for 7 months.
Yeah.
We don't even know their names. And all of a sudden, here we go.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, the season's over. Here come in.
We kind of walk in. We're kind of like, hey, Luds.
Yeah.
Who the hell are you?
Yeah. They need content.
Yeah.
You was there to provide it for him, weren't you?
I did what I could.
Yeah, he was. So, but because this is...
Did you have a favorite guy? I hate to jump into your
I like that
story here.
Who's
your favorite guy?
It was Irvin. It was Michael Irvin. He was, for all his demons and all his heart, he had the biggest heart in the world, and he would always give a great interview, right? Which, of course, for a media person was great. And Mike and I, had a good relationship then, still do now. But here's the thing I'll never forget. One time, one of the clubhouse guys.
Sorry, KG, I shouldn't ask the question.
Yeah.
No, you're good. He got a minute.
One of the club. I'm watching the clock, for God's sake. One of the clubhouse guys.
Professional host over here.
One of the clubhouse guys, Mike at Valley Ranch. You were at Valley Ranch. Mike used to park his car under the awning, which was where people walked in, right? But so that was Mike's and Dion's garage, right? And Mike used to say, if your car isn't at least $125,000, you don't get to park it in here. And so one time, Al, is Al still there? Was Al there when you were there, the clubhouse guy? So Al helps Mike, and he brings a bunch of stuff out of his locker, puts it in the trunk, the very small trunk of his $127,000 car, and then Mike says to him, which it was clear indication that it happened before, he says, Al, bless your soul. And so Al goes over to the driver's side door, and he lifts up a little flap on the little thing that sits there where you drop your maps and stuff. Oh. And he pulls out a wad of money, and he grabs at a 50, and a bunch of 50s go blowing off in the wind. And my cameraman's standing there. Can I bless myself? but again, that's Mike. You know,
That's Mike.
Al, bless yourself. Go ahead. Just do some money out of there for carrying my bags in here. And then I think Mike said, well, Al, go get them. They're all yours now. So anyway,
That's incredible.
Mike Irvin has now still and did then a great heart, despite some of the demons that haunted him. Hell, I know a little something about demons.
As he picks up the beer right now. That's fantastic stuff. Thank you so much for sharing those stories. That's fantastic stuff.
Hit the like button, man.
Yeah,
We're getting these
smash
great,
the like
you're
button.
getting these great stories,
Yeah.
man. Hit the like button if you're here. Listen to this great stuff.
Coming up next year on the DLLS Cowboys show, we're going to go players only. We got 2 former players, 2 superstar athletes. How did they get to the NHL? How did they get to the NFL? Craig Ludwig, Jesse Holley, going to trade some stories themselves. You ready, Craig?
Apparently so.
We'll do it next year on the DLLS Cowboys
More
show.
beers.
But first, let me talk to you about Saturday Neon. Started by 2 college friends, Saturday Neon makes officially licensed collegiate logo LED neon signs. Perfect for your home, office, dorm room, fan cave, or bar. They got their new Essentials collection out there as well, featuring almost 50 of the biggest schools across the country and counting for only $75. Texas, Texas A&M, Texas Tech, Oklahoma, and Oklahoma State signs available as well. Unlike traditional neon signs, these LED signs won't break or shatter, but still give you that classic uniform look that you know and love. Lasting up to 100,000 hours as well, you'll be enjoying your signs for years to come. They're easy to install. Just get some 3M command strips, put them up, and you'll enjoy them for years to come. They're the perfect gift for the favorite sports fan in your life. So make sure you head over to SaturdayNeon.com. Use code DLLS for 10% off. Again, that's DLLS for 10% off your favorite sign with Saturday Neon. Check out SaturdayNeon.com today.
Ready?
Yeah.
All right. Let's talk about some nuts. Mando is men's deodorant brand that is focused on keeping every aspect of a man's body smelling fresh and clean. Every aspect.
That's
Got it?
right.
Mando overtly calls out more colorful parts of men's bodies, such as your pits, belly buttons, your butt cracks, your berries, and the grundle. John, are you familiar with your grundle?
Oh, very familiar now.
So you know where it's
ever
located.
Ever since I learned what it was.
Okay.
Oh,
Well,
man.
exactly. You know how many people don't know what the taint, the nacha, you
Right.
know what nacha is?
Yeah, and taint. Taint was the
I
well.
feel like you
Taint-
making up stuff as you
I
go
remember when Taint,
Well,
Taint first hit the urban.
He
dish.
got
I'm like,
30
what is
seconds to
Taint?
get through.
Oh,
admitted
well, then
that.
their sweet scents are geared towards men with options like bourbon leather, cloverwood, and Mount Fuji. Like your balls smell like Mount Fuji. Created by a doctor who saw firsthand how normal BO was misdiagnosed and mistreated, clinically proven to block all odor and control it for up to 72 hours. Mandy's starter pack. Mandy. I call her Mandy now, not Mando so much.
Yeah,
Martyr standing.
yeah.
Martyr. Comes with a solid stick deodorant, a cream tube deodorant, 2 free products of your choice, like mini body wash and deodorant wipes. As a special offer for our listeners, new customers get $5 off the starter pack with our exclusive code. Use it, DLLS, at shopmando.com.
Look at you.
Not bad for
That was-
talking about
I
somebody's
mean, that
nuts.
was a damn good.
See, that was good. So you got through it. In fact, Stars Fan 91 was excited that you got the Mando read because they love how much you do it on the
So
on the
I
Star
just have
Show.
one quick Grundle story. So I went to Michigan.
Wait, did you really just start off a sentence with you have
all
a
my
Grundle story?
All my
Crazy.
nephews are young. They're all in their 20s, and every one of them when I
They
was
don't
there
know.
in
They
Michigan,
didn't know where their grundle was.
and I said,
I
"Grundle?
guarantee it.
Grundle? None of them knew. I'm like, you damn right. Oh, Uncle John knows what a grundle is. You guys go look it up on Urban Dictionary.
Oh, wow.
Did you point it out for him?
Well,
Was it show and tell?
it might be. I'm a good uncle. I might have.
Hey, get
to,
out of here. Get
I
out
might
of
have to
here.
help them.
Speaking
This
of
is not your
grundles,
show.
Speaking of
Get out of here.
grundles,
Listen,
Get
you
out
cannot-
of here.
You cannot talk about the grundle.
You can talk about the grumble.
We're not talking about the doodle queen.
Stop.
wait. There's
Get
a new
out.
one.
Get out of
Talk
here.
about the doodle queen?
Get out of
No,
here.
I don't know.
Get out.
No, see, you messed it
No,
up.
this is real stuff.
Get
Wait,
out.
is this doo-doo or doodoo?
Doodle queen, right
Doo-doo
here.
queen.
Oh, my gosh.
Tell them a doodle queen story.
Get out. We're talking Cowboys.
We're talking
Get
about.
Real stuff. Doodle queen.
They're not going to be able to hear Clarence at all on this show when they listen to this back. Oh, my gosh. You got half a voice left. Save it
Doo-doo.
for your show later on. Let's get into some players
FOMO.
only. Players
FOMO.
only. Craig Ludwig, of course, Stanley Cup champion. Jesse Holley, Mr. Fourth and Long himself. How did each of these gentlemen get to the league? We know a little bit about Jesse's story, but for you two gentlemen, it's a chance to get to know each other a little bit with our players only here.
I'm still. I'd like to hear more about the reality show.
Oh, reality
what?
show.
Yeah,
I
what
was
was
gonna say the
what was
Doodle
all
Queen stuff.
involved? in it?
Yeah, we're not going to do that.
No, like the events. Like what? There had to be certain events, right?
So just kind of fast forward through it all. When I got the call for the reality TV show, I was at that point in time, I was homeless, and I was working as a security guard, like not like the good security guard, like a gun and like protecting. I had like a whistle, and a flashlight.
But you're tough,
A
man.
whistle is
You're
crazy
tough.
work.
I had a whistle.
I hate to say it. The first guy comes to mind is Barney Fife.
Yeah,
They probably don't even know.
I had a clip-on tie, which was one of the worst things. Like that was one of the worst moments of my life. Like to every night to have to look in the mirror and put on that clip-on tie was absolutely
That's
horrific.
Bad. That's bad.
And so I'm working in Durham, North Carolina as a security guard. And this is why it's important to be good to people. Like, because you just never know when that may bless you later on down the line. And I got a call one morning I was getting off from work by a guy named Kevin Bess. Kevin Bess was the PR director at the University of North Carolina for the football department, had been there 20 plus years. He calls me and he says, hey, these people have called me from some reality TV show, and they was asking me that I know a guy who can play, who had the ability to play on Sundays and the charisma and characteristics to be in front of a camera. He said, I'm calling you to let you know that I gave them your name and number. Don't know what they're going to do, but just want to give you a heads up.
Yeah.
I get a call, and they start telling me kind of vaguely about what was going on. And they said that they're going to send me a fax. This is a long time ago, right? This is a fax.
Yeah.
About this application that I had to fill out. So I fill it out and I fax it back to them, and didn't hear anything for a while. Then I got a call about doing an audition. Now, mind you, I told you that I was poor. Like I didn't have any money. And so the audition locations were 2 in LA, 1 in Dallas, 1 in Orlando, and 1 in Ohio. For whatever reason, I thought Orlando was the way that I was supposed to go, but didn't have a way to get there. Long story short, the next consecutive events happened was a couple days later, I get a call from my godmother who was just checking on me. At the end of that conversation, she says to me, do you need to go anywhere? And I said, no, not really. She goes, well, she had a ticket that she was going to see her father in Alabama. She was living in Jersey. But her son got sick and she didn't use the ticket at the time. And they were telling her that if she didn't use it, that she would lose it.
Yeah.
She called and used that ticket to get me to Orlando.
Wow.
Oh, wow.
So in my head, I'm saying, okay, I got a way to get to Orlando. I had to be there for 2 days. After that, I needed somewhere to stay. Didn't have anywhere to stay. So I thought, I'll just sleep in the airport. I'll just thug it out, sleep in the airport.
Yeah.
Then I remembered my 5th grade teacher, Miss Ronnie Denoya, who also dated my great uncle, was a friend of the family, had moved to Orlando years ago and had been calling me all through college about, hey, come to Orlando for spring break. And in my head, I'm saying, 1, I was playing basketball, so I couldn't do spring break.
Yeah.
And then 2, when I got a chance to do spring break, I thought to myself, who the hell wants to spend spring break with Miss Denoya? Right? Like, not me. And so I never went. But I made the phone call and I said, hey, you from Orlando? She's like, yeah, I actually am.
Yeah.
And I was like, if it's okay with you, can I come crash at your place for 2 days? She said, sure, absolutely. Got an extra room. Where are you going? I give her the address to a place that I had to go. She goes, seriously? I said, yeah. She goes, this is 5 minutes from my house. She goes, I drive past this. It was at a hotel every single day. She's like, literally, it's at the end of the block in my neighborhood.
That's crazy.
Right? And so I go from not having a way to get there to having a way to get there to having somewhere to stay. I go and do the audition. When I come back, they call and they send us to LA. They send 50 people to LA. I go to LA for a week. And in between that, the boss that I had didn't want me to have the time off, so I had to quit a job that I didn't have money for. Shout out to the girl that I was dating at the time. It's crazy. I was poor and trying to date a girl. But Shannon, she wrote me a resignation letter because she believed in me and what I wanted to do. Mm-hmm. And on the letter she had, trust God. And so I go to LA, I spend time in LA, I do that audition, and I come back and I'm working at T-Mobile. I worked at security at night from 7 to 11. I would train from 7:30 to 9:30, and then I would go to T-Mobile from 10 to 3. Like that was my schedule every single day. I do the show, I get the call, and they said, hey, 12 of you guys have been selected to be on this show called Fourth and Long with Michael Irvin. And you have to come to Dallas. You'll be there for 2.5 months. And when I ended up winning the show, so you're living inside the Cotton Bowl. You're inside the Cotton Bowl for 2.5 months.
Never
Literally,
left.
Never, ever
What
left.
kind of accommodations were there? Like,
They,
what do you mean you're living in there?
I don't
You're
know.
not literally living in there.
I don't know what part about living in there is not coming across. That's living in there.
In
In the locker room of the Cotton Bowls. They made the Cotton Bowl into a makeshift home, the locker room. They put these divider walls up and had a locker room, had a lounge, and we slept 6 in this little
Slept
room.
on them benches. Those
We
little,
slept in like twin beds. It was like 2 this way, 2 this way, and then 2 this way. Like if someone farted, you smelled it. Like it was like right there.
So Mando comes in.
Yeah, for real. And
I'm going to read it again.
No, you're
and
good.
so
You're good.
and so that's what we lived.
Actually, there's a part in there where it says it's great for all aspects.
Yeah.
That's right.
Every
You
aspect.
said that part earlier.
Okay.
That's right.
And so I go on and I win the show. And what was unique about it after it all, it was a producer on the show whose name actually happened to be Jesse as well. And we shared the same birthday.
but he has an eye.
Jeez.
No I in his name.
No eye.
We don't do eyes in our names.
Wow.
We don't do eyes in our names. No eyes.
I didn't even know Jesse had an eye.
Yeah, exactly.
Jesse.
There's
SSE?
some.
Yeah. That's how it should always be.
Who's got
spelled.
an eye in
The girls.
Jesse?
Short for
that's
Jessica.
right.
Oh, I didn't
The
know that.
girls.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
See,
It's all right.
And
I
so,
should be living in that show.
and then Jesse told me, he said, I don't think you understand what you just done. And of course, I'm like, yeah, sure I did. I just won 4th and long. He's like, no. He says, remember that application I told you to fax in? I said, yeah. He said, we had over 100,000 notes. He said, remember the audition that you went to in Orlando? He said, between the 5 locations, 2 in LA, Dallas, Orlando, and Ohio, we auditioned 22,000 people.
Wow.
He says, and then we sent 50 of you to LA. Out of that 50, there was 12. Out of that 12, there were 1. The 1 was me. And so that's kind of the fast forward version of
That's
the reality
crazy.
show
And that got you a spot to be the 80th man on the Cowboys.
It
Not
just
even a guaranteed roster
It got
spot.
me an invitation to be the 80th man on the Dallas Cowboys training camp roster.
Amazing.
There's a plan.
And then you just
Yeah.
had to do that much
Yeah.
more work from there to get on the roster.
Yes.
And look at you now.
And spent 3 seasons there and been a Cowboy.
Did you win a ring with
wait.
the Patriots?
You're doing a
No.
podcast now. Look at you now. Things
Yeah.
have gone full
Oh,
circle.
we'll get to that in a little bit, too.
Yeah.
All right, you got 3 minutes.
We might have to carry this over.
Yeah,
right?
we're going to carry it over, but
Yeah.
we're going to get it started now. Like, I want to know how Craig Ludwig got to the league. How did he get to the NHL? That's terrific stuff, Jesse.
Well,
That's incredible.
I can keep it short. Little town, Wisconsin, Wisconsin Badgers, big program. I actually got recruited there, got accepted to the school, and I got a call about 2 weeks later from Bob Johnson, the legend. And he goes, Mr. Ludwig, I said, hey, Coach, what's up? How you doing? Now, I had told everybody in my hometown, you're going to do this. And, you're a little 1,200 people. Well, he goes, are you aware that at the University of Wisconsin, we have a 2.5 grade point average? I said, no, Coach, I have no idea. And he goes, well, son, you're not even close. I said, okay, awesome. So that thing went away. And then ultimately, I had some D3 schools and things like that. And I went and met on the way to University of North Dakota, there's this little town called Superior, Wisconsin. And went there, met with a coach D3, and we met at a Big Boys restaurant, me and my best friend at the time. And the coach had said to me in a little meeting, we're sitting in a booth, and he says to me, it'd be a great school. We're industrial arts. I was auto mechanics and woods and shops and all that kind of stuff in high school. And he goes, it'd be a great school for you to come to. I'm not sure you can make our team, but it'd be a great school for you to come to. And I kind of looked at my buddy, and I booted him underneath the table, and he kind of looked at me, and the coach got up and went to take a piss. And so I said, check.
Can't say piss.
Oh, you can't say piss?
Sorry.
Okay.
Yeah.
You can say Mando, but you can't. Okay. So I said, Jack, let's go. So we took off. We left, and that was it. So ultimately, my best friend's dad used to play at the University of North Dakota. Got me a tryout at UND. Went there, made the team somehow. Very first year, we won national championship. I just happened to have to come back through Superior, Wisconsin, and we had gotten our rings. And so I just knocked on Gary Harker's door. That cool. Just knocked on the door, and he looked at me. Oh, Mr. Ludwig, come on in. I said, nope, just came by to say hi. See you later. And I walked out. And then from there, I got drafted at the end of that year and stuff like that. And then I went through the same program. When I was at University of North Dakota, head coach calls me up. Gino, the reason I went to North Dakota is because their grade point was 2.0.
Nice.
That's how I got there. That's how I got in there.
You didn't need the 0.5.
But the problem was after I made the team, after first semester or whatever. I don't know. Semester. I didn't go to a lot of school. And so the coach calls me in. Gino Gasparini, great guy. Anyway, he calls me in and he goes, are you aware what the great, and I'm thinking this is deja vu. I'm hearing this whole same thing all over again.
Here we go.
And because I had just gotten a scholarship, because I walked on, then I got a scholarship. And he goes, you aware? I said, Coach, yes, I do. It's 2.0. I know that because I gave him the whole story. He goes, you're not even close. Well, what do you mean? He goes, 0.08 is what you are. I'm like, what? And he goes, 0.08. He goes, do you even go to class? I said, yeah, I kind of do. Anyway, he set up my classes for me. So I had bowling and bicycle touring and, basketball. I had tennis. I had bowling.
How do you fail those?
I had audio visual. I had bowling 1 and 2.
How do you fail?
No, that was after.
You can't just say bowling 1 and 2.
So we win the national championship. And he goes, don't expect to be leaving school. You're not ready to go play pro. I said, Coach, never even thought about playing pro hockey. Fast forward 2 years later, we have national championship again. We won the championship again. And it's in the very same building, RPI. We're all celebrating in the room. Gasparini comes walking in. Out here again. I'm like, holy shit, we're doing this again. No, I didn't say that. I said it really soft. He goes,
He goes,
remember that conversation we had a couple of years ago? I said, yeah. And he goes, I want you to look down to the end of the hall. And I look down and I see that big guy down there. He goes, his name is Bill Waters. He's your agent. I said, my agent? I never had an agent before. We have no more classes for you to take. Go meet your agent because you're leaving school right now. And that's ultimately what happened. Is I left after my third year and then somehow made the Montreal Canadiens. And
I feel like you're the first player I've ever heard of get forced out of school. Like you can't come back here no more. Just go to the league.
We've retired the bowling classes.
Exactly.
And
there's no bowling 3 here. You got to go.
Luds and I share the same sentiment. My freshman year, I got the same conversation. Like, come here.
Yeah.
And it was like they called it up on the hill. They said they want to see you up on the hill. I said, what did I do?
Dang, that sounds.
And they were like,
but can you imagine in today's day with the NIL stuff going on? Like I can't even imagine if I ever went to school and then got paid to go to college. Like where there's no chance I'd ever played pro.
You would have just stayed in school the entire time.
No. At two sports, the way that I was at that time.
Yeah.
And I would have been done.
And we're gonna finish this up. On the
we
side.
got to go.
We gotta go. We're gonna finish up here on the DLLS Cowboys show.
I'll finish this up.
Yeah, I bet you will. Who's the number one sports team in town when it comes to the Mavericks, Stars, Cowboys, and Rangers? Plus more story time, we think, with Craig Ludwig. Coming up next on the DLLS Cowboys show. But it is Spirit Week here on the DLLS sports side of things and across the All-City Network. It's Musical Chairs Day, of course, here for us. As you can see, the four of us hosting the DLLS Cowboys show. Jesse, the only regular, of course, here on the show today. But we've got an exciting partnership that we want to tell you about. As part of All-City Spirit Week, we're teaming up with Big Brothers Big Sisters of America with an incredible group creating life-changing mentorships for kids across the country. We've set a goal of $10,000, but we'd love to smash right through that, of course, and we can with your help. As you can donate using the link in the video or description, and if you want to make an even bigger impact, you can also sign up to become a big by visiting bbbs.org/allcity. That's bbbs.org/allcity. Make sure let's do something together this week as we try to reach that goal. Of course, you can become a diehard member here at DLLS Sports. Go to alldlls.com, hit that diehard button. You get 20% off our events. Also, you get to be part of our member-only Discord as well, and you get to hang out with this guy, November 15th through the 18th in Sin City in Las Vegas. The DLLS road trip in Las Vegas, November 15th through the 18th, culminating, of course, with a Monday Night Football tilt between your Cowboys and the Las Vegas Raiders. I'm just excited to see what Chill does on the strip for 4 days. Like, I don't know if he'll come back in one piece, 2 pieces, who knows. But if you want to find out, hang out November 15th through the 18th. In Las Vegas when it comes to our DLLS road trip. You going to be out there? You excited to go out there?
No.
Really?
I'm going to be honest with you.
No.
I'm going to be honest with you.
Wait, you're not going?
No, I'll be there. I'll be there.
He going to have to just keep Pop on the leash the entire time. Him
Clarence,
and Kavanaugh.
Clarence is a child.
Yeah. At 60
See, I'm
years
hoping
old.
everybody likes this show right now.
They're
and
loving
maybe
this
we
show,
wanna
by the
take
way.
This crew
this show,
out
yeah.
there,
That's right.
Because
That's
we
right.
get nothing.
I would
love to
enjoy
go
it.
without. I'd love to go without them other 2 idiots that I do go with.
I'm thinking about paying. We should pay.
You should take
Let's
Barry
pay and
Switzer
go
with
take
you.
the trip.
I don't want to go that bad.
Wow.
I might.
AllDLLS.com. Become a diehard member. They smash that like button here while you're here as well on the Cowboy Show. I want to see 100 likes before we get out of here. 100 likes on the show before we get out of here.
Let me ask Luds one question before we finish up his story.
Yeah.
Weren't you really close to making that Miracle on Ice team?
No, hell no.
You weren't.
So that was in the first tryout was in Minneapolis.
Right.
Okay, so I go there. Fortunately, whatever. The reason I went there and even tried out, I was just about to turn 18. So I took 3 of my buddies with me. My parents said, okay, get a room. We were right next to the Met Center there. It was called the Thunderbird Hotel. Well, birthday party kind of stuff, right? So I get there. I was first guy cut.
Oh, were you really?
Oh, wow.
First or second.
Not only
guy
was he
cut.
not close,
No, it wasn't even close.
first guy out the door.
I must have had
early.
When he
You
told
got
me
the
that
wrong
story
info.
last time, I must have had a few too many of these. I've been telling everybody he was the last
He said,
guy.
you know,
cut.
Micah Parsons only around here.
Yeah,
Okay?
I knew it was either the first or the last. I just couldn't.
Still part of that was that the second, before we did that, we had a little fun one night. We broke a window on the sliding glass door. So I'm like, oh, we're getting in trouble here.
Yeah.
So what I did though is I left the room, walked out the glass door backwards to the parking lot, and then I grabbed a big rock and I brought it in and I set it in a thing to make it. I said, look, somebody broke into our room, the kind of thing. I didn't even know that they had security guards that were watching the whole thing. They were like, good try,
Why'd you
kid.
walk backwards?
Well, because I wanted it where somebody was walking up to the window. You know what I mean? Like somebody
Yeah,
walked
you
up
were-
there, they threw a rock through, and then they
You'd
came
had a
out.
few of these
No
too.
wonder
hadn't
Team
you?
USA was like, that's not captain material. That's not the kind of material we need on this team.
Your mic. You knocked it out.
Oh, he
Oh.
disconnected. Yep.
John,
Don't blame him. That's your fault.
Am I plugged in?
Yeah, he's plugged in now.
Shouldn't you be
John is
monitoring?
over it. He
John,
is-
isn't
he-
your job to monitor our sound as the show goes on? No, I don't think that's
And
true.
it's not his job to not make sure that you knock out the.
I
I was about to say this is
I do
par
it
for the
quite a
course for
bit.
you. All right, real quick before we get out of here, why are the Stars the #1 team in town?
I have no idea.
Come on, dog. You a Stanley Cup champion and won with the team.
listen,
now.
I mean, it's hard to compete with the Cowboys. Number one, you said it. You're always
Yeah.
going to be number one. I would say that for how they go about their business off the ice, not so much on the ice. I mean,
Yeah.
they're a fantastic product on the ice, but I think the way that now, especially that we're all gone, the way that they conduct themselves off the ice and with the fans and everything, you see the games. It's incredible. So, I mean, from the management down, and I'm talking about starting with Brad Alberts as the president and things like
Yep.
that. I'm sucking up right now, but I mean, from Brad and everybody he has below him, to Jim Nill, all the people are in the right places. But I know it's going to be hard to argue that this would be the team because it's ultimately going to come back to the Cowboys. We know that. And
that's what's gonna make Jesse go last.
and that's kind of like our motivation, though. I think, and I say our because I feel like we're still part of it. Hopefully, is that there's a standard there that I think Dallas the hockey team wants to kind of be that and get to that point, which I think everybody knows where we're at in the pecking order. But again, I just look at the personalities, the quality of the players, and what they do off the ice, more importantly than on the ice, because I think they're all unbelievable now, better than we ever were.
Well, the team that's won the most recent, championship in town, John Rhadigan. Why the Rangers the #1 team in town?
And that's one of the reasons I was going to make the case
Yeah.
for the Rangers, right? None of these other damn teams can win championships. No, forget the fact that it took the Rangers 50-some years to win it.
Yeah.
But by God, they won one.
Yeah.
And I don't know if they got a chance this year. I felt like at the beginning of the year they did. And somebody just said in the chat that the Stars have the best GM in the Metroplex. And Jim Nill is a great general manager.
And he's a great human being.
Yes, he really is. But I'll tell you this. Chris Young's got something to say about the best GM.
I love listening to him talk about how he runs his team.
Yes. And the reality is, and this is what, you guys especially, that is one, again, he played Major League Baseball for like 13 years. That's one competitive SOB. He wants to win every game, right? And when you have that at the highest level, instead of, and I love John Daniels, I still hang, but instead of a lot of these Ivy League guys who don't have that competitive fire, right? Chris Young has that competitive fire, man, that drive. And I think, his stated goal at the beginning of this year was to make sure that people saw and knew that 2024, when they were poor and they didn't make the playoffs, that was the aberration, not that 2023, when they did win the World Series, was the aberration. And I mean, I'm telling you, that dude goes to work every day with that in mind. He's going to make 2024 the year where people go, how the hell did that happen? Not 2023.
Yeah.
How the hell did that happen?
I'll make the case for the Mavericks because I think
They traded Luka.
Look, okay.
Well, they have
Come
a great
on.
GM and a great owner, so start there.
See, I knew that was coming. I knew that was coming. But before then, I could argue that the Mavericks have the most beloved sports figure over the last 25 years in Dirk Nowitzki.
Yeah.
The rise of Dirk Nowitzki from coming over from Germany, going through the heartache of losing and then winning an MVP and then winning a championship in 2011, going through what was the Blazers and the Lakers and the Oklahoma City Thunder to win that championship, ultimately beating the Heatles in 2011, of course. And you talked about how the Stars players and how the organization goes about their business off the floor and off the ice. Dirk Nowitzki is one of the most humble superstars that you'll ever meet and come across. And the way that he's represented the city and the organization over the last 20-plus years, I think it's the stuff of legend. And obviously, you mentioned, the cat that was here for 6.5 years, and Luka Doncic before they traded him, felt like he was on that way. But now, maybe Cooper Flagg can take that mantle up when he gets drafted here next week with the Mavericks. But you go all the way back from the early 80s. Obviously, they went to a Western Conference Finals, losing ultimately to the Lakers in 1988. The 3 J's with Jason Kidd and Jimmy Jackson and Jamal Mashburn. Like, they've had some real stars come to this organization.
Shout out to Tony Braxton.
See, if you're real, go look up that story when it comes to Tony Braxton and the 3 J's, and maybe she broke up the 3 J's, depending on who you talk to. But there's a lot of star power. But the Mavs, I think, fantastic organization with Dirk when he was there, of course, winning that championship.
Tony Braxton. We talk about the singer Tony Braxton.
That's that. Yeah.
Oh,
she's
yeah.
hot.
Yeah.
Well, you asked Jamal Mashburn and
I'm saying, talk to Jason Kidd, Jamal Mashburn.
Okay,
and
well, I
Jimmy
don't know
Jackson.
that part. I
mean,
mean,
it's a fantastic story.
They apparently
they thought the same thing. They thought the same thing.
Apparently, they all thought
she was hot.
Yeah, apparently they all thought she was hot. She thought they were all hot, so that was a problem. Yeah.
All right, Jesse, tell us why it's the Cowboys.
We're daddy. I mean, we are.
Oh,
the Dallas Cowboys are daddy,
wow.
right? Like, however you wanna cut it, is we get the big piece of chicken, right? When we come in the house, we sit down at the table, we get.
Y'all got a whole Netflix special coming out later on.
We
this
get to
summer.
serve the big piece of chicken, and a lot of it, of course, with Tex Schramm and the way that started off, and Tom Landry, and then Jerry Jones took what they had started and put it on a rocket ship and took it out of space, right? And we talk about the viewership, we talk about the fandom and the merchandising and all that kind of stuff that Jerry Jones is involved in.
Yeah.
It gives the Cowboys that, when you talk about it being America's team, it's the feel that no matter where you go, right? Like Rangers or Stars or Mavs, you may travel to other places and you may find a speckle of a Rangers fan or a speckle of a Stars fan, but I've been to places, I've been to different countries and different continents, and there are large contingents.
It's a worldwide phenomenon
of fans.
Yeah.
And that literally goes on the back. Now, say whatever you want about Jerry Jones, the general manager.
Mm-hmm.
Like the businessman.
Yeah.
Nobody does it better. There's a reason why he is in the Hall of Fame for being a contributor. He's the reason why you see the other billion-dollar stadiums in this league. He's the reason why you see people moving into concert venue type stadiums. He's the reason why you see concessions. He's the reason why you see the TV deals. A lot of this stuff is birthed from the mind of Jerry Jones, and and the Cowboys were the guinea pig for it. And then the rest of the league has taken on what he has done with the Cowboys. The names are recognizable. You talk about the Dirks of the world. You're talking about the Luds of the world. You talk about all the great Rangers of the world. Like, we still talk about the Mr. Cowboys, and you talk about the Roger Staubachs, and we talk about all these great players. And of course, you have the 90s Cowboys, the triplets. All of these guys, no matter what era you talk about the Cowboys, every single era of that is spoken about. And even now, it's been 30 years. It's been 30 years.
Don't we know it?
Since they've gotten themselves to an NFC or a Super Bowl. Yet and still, just a year ago, they did a poll, and they did the top 100 primetime watch television programs in the country. 75 of those were sporting events.
Mm-hmm.
Out of that 75, 49 of those were NFL events. Out of that 49, the Cowboys were in 7 of them. And that 7 sat in the top 10. Okay? Like, so this is the way that the Cowboys are able to keep themselves relevant, because their reach goes so much further than just Texas, DFW. They are the world's team. They are America's team. And that's why we the daddy. That's why we get the big piece of
Are
chicken.
people watching and tuning into this team because they love to watch them lose?
It's I call it the Mayweather effect, the Floyd Mayweather effect. Is either you're watching because you love them and you want to see them succeed, or you don't want to be there and miss the opportunity when they fall flat on their face.
Y'all can talk about the rest.
So
of
we're
this
not going to talk
episode.
about Packers here at all, are we?
No.
Okay.
Stop.
All right. Just
Sorry about you.
Appreciate John for putting up with us here on the DLLS Cowboys Show. That is superstar Craig Ludwig. That is the legend, John Rhadigan. That is Mr. Fourth and Longest Up. I'm merely your host, Kevin Gray. We are DLLS Cowboys. We'll talk to you later on this week. Y'all be good.
Eliminate the contingencies.
Peace.
We all silly like the mayor.